Watch yourself. Watch yourself. The following podcast contains awesome and potentially life-changing information, but it also contains brilliant, self-indulgent, and context-free humor that some will find incomprehensible.
And action. Welcome, hello, and welcome to Brain Software Podcast number 172, coming to you from the Hypnotic World Epicenter, Toronto, Canada. I'm Chris Thompson, and today Mike Mandel and I, are about to discuss commanding respect, so stay tuned.
And that, my friend, is why I'm convinced there's someone else on board the Demeter. The shoes alone indicate an elderly gentleman, but the huge stone blocks are more in keeping with someone of great strength. And we need to get the casket moved up onto the foredeck. At least then we might be able to slide it over the side and avoid further incidents.
Who do you suspect, Inspector?
I suspect everyone, of course, but no one as well. I refuse to let this case get the better of me. I just wish this damnable storm would calm down and leave the grassy knoll.
Wow, that's amazing. It's like some kind of magic you just did there.
We are not witches.
Maybe not, but we get a lot of respect. Whatever happened to that old tranquility we used to know? These are days of victory!
So let's welcome to the capsicum of the blue canopy, a truly glanative man who's adding to his fleet of Teslas almost daily. Our retired webmaster and resident CEO, sound guy, co-trainer, and general science geek, and a man of deep provender who understands and appreciates the music of the 1960s better than any other person in the history of humanity, Chris Fritz Thompson!
Boom, all right. I am now Fritz Thompson. I love it. Fantastic. I can't believe you even brought in the retired webmaster line, which is hilarious because over the years, I remember when people would send you stuff and you'd say, oh, I've passed it along to my webmaster.
Yeah. Can we buy this? Oh, no, that's my webmaster. Yeah.
Like webmaster. Okay.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Now, I want to talk about
nothing
two things
against webmasters.
No, but before we get into the topic, I want to, any promotions or anything here?
No, nothing at all. We do those at the end. There's nothing to promote.
All right, good. Just checking.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Altocelarophobia really quickly here because this is annoying me.
Oh.
You know, Chris, and I've told this in my live trainings, when I was a kid, I had a phobia so rare it did not have a name yet.
And now it has a name.
It has a name. It's had a name for a few years, Altocelarophobia.
Was it named by one of the Johnnies?
No, Chris,
perhaps
it wasn't.
Johnny Leifbniatswo?
No, it was not named by Johnny Brookman Ding Tilasia either. Or Johnny
Suleiman
Class Philo Aravantave. But hilarious. Now listen, it's a fear of being in a room with a high ceiling. I remember I went through hell in gym class as a kid. I feel I was hanging upside down, going to fall up.
Climbing the ropes?
Yeah. Well, no, that wasn't so bad because I was gripping. It was volleyball and basketball where I'm jumping up.
And you felt like you were going to fall into the ceiling?
Classic Altocelarophobia. My wife and I were at St. Paul's Cathedral. We were under the dome. I was holding her hand. She walked away and forgot. I was literally paralyzed and couldn't walk. And white and faint and
it's
sweaty hands.
Weird thing to be afraid of.
Horrible. Well, there's no sense to it, right? So anyway, you know I cured it. I cured it through self-hypnosis and timeline therapy. We won't go into the story, but I will say this. I Googled fear of high ceilings and found Altocelarophobia and noticed there was a Facebook support group for it. So I applied to be let in. They let me in. And I just said, you know, I had it. And then I tested it. I went to Notre Dame Cathedral. My wife, I was fine underneath it. And I have information. I have information. I can help people who want to get rid of this. This is curable. Oh, then the replies are, he's lying. He's a fraud. Nobody can get rid of. I said, guys.
You must be trying to sell them something, Mike.
Right. I Googled him. He's trying to sell me something. Look, there's 4 people in your freaking group. You are not going to change the quality of my life if you give me 10 grand each.
Yeah, you're
I don't want anything. And Chris, I didn't even put our podcast or our website or anything deliberately. And I said, well, look, I really have the info. I've written a document on it. I can't post it online because we're going to be using it as a blog post. But if you go to, I called it phobia document at mailinator.com, just click and you can read it right there at a public mail address, right? He's just trying, we don't know. There's too much going on here. This is very suspicious. They delete the email in Mailinator, obviously without reading it. And the rest is history. So here's what I want to say to everybody in the Facebook Altocelarophobia group.
They can keep their phobia.
Keep your freaking phobia. Have fun with it. Enjoy it and sit around and talk about how it can't be cured. Bye. You missed your chance.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So what is on? This is all about commanding respect. So I'm not sure how that fits in, but now we're going to move on. Well, we got to do our 3 words.
I know. We got the think tank words.
All
done with the actual think tank.
Yes, so. And I'm sure that in the magic of editing, these words are going to appear magically as we discuss them now, right? Right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So the first one is think. Scary thing was looking at the beginning of the list. The second is tank. The third one is words. Okay. Workmanship.
Workmanship. I like this one because, as you know, we were just discussing enlarging one of the windows in our house here. And the workmanship, of course, you want good quality work done. If you're going to do something, you may as well do it well. And especially if it's something that involves the physical use of hands, crafting with wood or with melted metal or whatever it is. I don't know. You want quality workmanship.
Are you all right?
Yes. Are you? Who last cut your hair?
Yeah, I see what he was trying to do. Yeah. Okay. Workmanship. That's good. Now, what about recluse? What do you get from that?
Nothing. What do you get?
Well, someone who's avoiding life, someone who's, I
was avoiding answering the question.
I get that's being taciturn. It's not recluse. But I think, staying away from things. And we are all forced into reclusion because of COVID-19 right now.
Yeah, I would say COVID-19 has created a lot of recluse people.
Okay. And what about spatial?
Spatial. Oh, just because we're recording this podcast right now, of course, it makes me think of spatial anchoring. But let's talk about that later.
Nicely spatial anchored. Wow.
Which is,
put it on your side.
For the viewers, you get that. For the listeners, you might want to go to YouTube. Spatial. Yeah.
I've never seen you tread water like this before. Just so effortlessly. Of all our podcasts, this is going to go on record as being very artistic, very creative, very relaxing, awesome. Very relaxing. Okay, well, spatial. Spatial means taking space. And to me, it means
you're taking up so much space that you're off the frame half the time.
Well, that's a good thing, isn't it? So we want to bring a higher degree of workmanship to this podcast, which so far, once again, has refund written all over it. We want to not become recluses, but listen to our students, the sort of things they want to talk about, our students worldwide in MMHA. And the spatial aspect is the one I'm not able to bring in here.
We'll figure it out. See, the whole point is, remember,
to graft them in as we go.
So many times we would bring these words into play at the beginning, and then we'd never actually draw on them.
No, you wouldn't.
Podcast. But last time, I believe it was 171. It was miraculous. Like
they just dropped in.
They kept flooding back in.
Like Jack the Flooder.
Like all.
They were sitting there flooding in the
at all the right spots.
At the right
so
spot.
Let's let that
we all
happen.
want to be at the right spot.
Let's enjoy noticing exactly how brilliantly that same thing can happen.
Well, I got a Davy Crockett hat on that Kobe from Texas gave us.
And I got the Kobe mug.
It's fantastic. We were celebrating Texas today. And rightly so. I had some of the best breakfasts of my life in Texas. You know, I worked there. I worked through San Antonio and Houston and Dallas, Fort Worth many years ago. And in Dallas, you know what I did? I went to Dealey Plaza, saw the site of the Kennedy assassination. Not obsessed about it at all, though. He says looking at the camera instead of the monitor.
But did you go there to offer free advice on how people can cure their phobias?
No, I didn't,
and get
Chris.
kicked out.
And and Altocelarophobia, in case I haven't said it lately, all of you in the Facebook group, I haven't said it in about 2 years. You can bite my freaking wand. You blew it, as Merlin said.
All right, let's get on. So we are going to talk about how to command respect.
I don't get no respect. You know, I give my son an air rifle for Christmas. He gives me a shirt with a target on the back. I don't get no respect. Rodney Dangerfield, he rebuilt his career in his 60s, and that's what he built it on. Okay, listen.
What's your definition of respect,
Well,
Mike?
I wanted to know yours. Mine is being valued and treated with dignity, a feeling of admiration for someone or something. If we admire someone, we respect them. But we can respect someone without the admiration, too. I looked online to see some of the points. You know, I went on the internet, Chris.
Yeah, do you have to admire someone to respect them? I suppose.
No, because I respect you, but I certainly don't admire you.
I think that there does have to be admiration, though, at least at a partial level. So you don't have to admire everything about a person, but there are going to be things that you do admire, right?
You're going to go up to someone and say, I just want you to know, I know you're going through some difficulties, but I do admire you at a partial level.
Yeah. I really like your haircut, despite the fact that you're a total...
Yeah, that's right.
In my opinion, if you respect somebody, then there is something about them that you admire.
Okay.
Not everything, but I challenge you to give me an example where that's not the case.
Okay,
let's find a black swan.
I can respect a gang member who's armed to the teeth and standing next to me on a subway car. I can respect him. But it doesn't mean I admire him.
Do you? Well, how do you know you respect him?
Because I would sense his air of authority and power that he is sending out so people don't F with him.
And you'd respect that part of him. You'd admire that. Would you admire that?
No, I wouldn't admire it.
You wouldn't admire the ability
because I'd probably still beat him in a street fight.
Okay.
So why would I admire that?
All right.
We'll edit that out.
We'll edit that out.
Now look.
Hold on. Let's do that again. Right? Yeah, there we go.
Okay,
and action.
Okay, I looked at the monitor.
I'm kidding. We're not editing that out.
Okay, don't edit it out, Ross. Now, although it is a human need, here's my question for you, and I think this is a really serious point here, but no need to get depressed when you try to answer it. The question is, although it is a human need, respect is a human need, is it earned or is it intrinsic?
Oh, that I think it's earned.
Do you know what that word means? Earned?
Earned? Yeah, there you go. I really respect that question.
Thank you, buddy. It was intrinsic to my nature.
I don't know. Earning something tends to be that you went out and did something like a trade. So you earned something.
Or
I
won the Olympics.
This and I earned this back, right?
Or won the Olympics.
Yeah, I suppose you earned your medal, but you did something. And in return, you got a gold medal, let's say, or whatever it is.
So someone who has done something different or extraordinary is going to have respect simply for that. And I think right away, a Blondin walking across Niagara Falls on a high wire, carrying his manager on his shoulders and telling his manager, don't try to balance. He said, let me just do the whole thing or we'll fall to our deaths.
Wow.
Okay. Now, if I could walk on a tightrope across Niagara Falls, you're not my manager, and I would not carry you across. I just want to make that so freaking clear.
That's really good.
So clear.
So what do you think?
Start practicing balancing.
Is respect earned or is it intrinsic?
Well, I know. I respect Blondin for doing that. I think some respect is intrinsic, although I cannot think of a single example.
Okay.
Even our parents, we don't respect them intrinsically. We respect them over time, right? They've earned our respect by protecting us.
That's a good point.
Teaching us and
threatening
us.
Yeah, by being parents.
Yeah.
And by raising us, we look back and go, oh, they earned our respect. We didn't notice it at the time because, all parents are a-holes.
Well, no, mine are dead.
Kids are teenagers.
Mine are dead. I wonder why you'd bring that up and try to upset me, Chris. So we're saying, anyway, there is respect, whether it's a feeling of admiration, whether you're being treated, valued with dignity, whatever, whether it's intrinsic or earned. Let's get a list of things that will garner more respect from other people.
So let's start with first item on the list.
Well, actually, I want to go before that and insert one here. I want to interject with, I can't remember what it was. Go ahead.
I have no idea either. So we'll go to the list then, which was honor your first commitments. Now, speaking of your father, you learned that from him, didn't you?
Yes, but we're not. I've got the one now, so it's not.
Oh, so we'll have to come back to that.
Yeah, we will. We'll edit this out. Now, in order to get respect, giving respect is a great way to get it.
I agree.
So I'm going to put that first on the list. I think it's key for human beings. When we are respected, we have a feeling of self-worth of some kind of personal value.
When people respect us, when we're respected, we feel more validated. Right.
Yes. Then if we give respect to other people by treating them with dignity and kindness and respect and so on, I think that they are probably inclined to give it back to us. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. It's basically Cialdini's principle of commitment and consistency,
but
also reciprocity. That if you
but it's vague in the reciprocity front, even more vague than giving someone a can of Coke or something. But I'm thinking, if the person is a rampant narcissist, giving them respect and that will only be seen as narcissistic supply, and they probably won't give anything back. They'll be, well, it reminds me of this other thing I did, and yeah, I'm glad you respect me. Let me tell you more about myself. Yeah. I saw a guy on Jeopardy a couple months ago, and the guy was such a dick, Chris. Everything he did, it was all freaking narcissism beyond anything I've ever seen. I didn't respect him at all. I get to the point, I like Jeopardy.
Okay.
But I didn't want to watch this guy. And when he got a question right, he'd go, I just say, you think you're a gunfighter and you're a dick.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say the dick chant, which sort of goes, dick.
Yeah.
A little louder, dick. And then really full on, dick.
Yeah.
Anyway, he couldn't hear me. So first one on the list is honor your first commitments. What do you make of that?
Well, It's one of these things you're going to earn respect over time by doing what you say you're going to do. Do you remember years ago, we used to say to people, oh, we're going to publish the Brain Software podcast every 2 weeks. And then for a while, we would miss our schedule. No, not for 4 years, but for a while, it would be maybe every closer to 3 weeks. We weren't doing what we said we'd do.
I know. And we lost respect.
Do you think that in that time, people would trust us when we said, oh, we're going to put out a podcast in 2 more weeks? Probably not.
They probably hated us.
Well, and this is a very minor thing overall in the grand scheme of our lives. But if you honor your commitment, if you actually do what you say you're going to do, if you say you're going to show up to help somebody, if you say that you're going to review somebody's paper that they've got to submit for an assignment, I'm going to help you proofread that for you, whatever it is.
Yeah.
If you do that and you're consistently doing the things you say you're going to do, people are going to learn to trust you and respect you for honoring your commitments.
So are you saying that we lost everyone's trust completely?
Absolutely. We blew it. We blew it. Okay. I just shut her down. Shut her down.
Scared thing of starting another dick chant?
Yeah.
Okay. And feel free to use that in your own life. Go up in volume. The third one should be pretty well shouted. What about be dependable? Now, the reason I say honor your first commitments, my father taught me that, as you said, if we say we're going to do something and then this really hot person comes along and says, oh, do you want to go out tonight? You can't go, hey, I'll just dump idiot boy here. Yeah, I don't want to see him anymore.
Yeah, honor your first commitment. In other words, do what you say you're going to do.
Yes.
But also in part of that, don't pick the better thing that just came along.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. And it's tempting. It's human nature.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to raise this in the razory a bit here. Because it's human nature that we want to fill our time with stuff that we enjoy. I mean, right now, I wouldn't want to be here at all if I could avoid it. I mean,
well, if somebody offered to teleport me to a beach in Florida,
my wife said, why don't you sleep in today? Yeah. And I said, you know what? I promised to come into a Brain Software podcast, but I just sleep in instead.
That's just way more
first
exciting.
commitment, and we love doing these. So the next one is be dependable. Do what you say you'll do, even if it's inconvenient. This is like unto the other one.
That's pretty much what we just said. So we'll move along.
All right, be aware.
Because we respect your time, listeners.
I respect you saying that. Now, we need to be aware. This is one of yours.
Be aware of emotional
you to expound
involvement.
on this. Be aware of emotional involvement.
Yeah.
Calm down, Chris.
Thank you.
I'm a comic genius. I'm just here joking in the jokery.
You'll get the joke in a moment, everyone else. How often have people who want respect gotten so emotionally engaged in the discussion that they come across as either needy or whiny or just overall mad? You know, I'm really mad at you for whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I just realized that Ross is going to be mad at me because I'm looking at myself in the monitor.
I'm not.
Right now.
I'm looking right into the camera.
He's going to text me and say, did you have a stroke?
Yeah.
Right?
Looking right into the monitor.
So
the camera.
When you're making a point or when you're asking for something or when you're making a suggestion, you're hoping people will listen. Not enough people are listening to you.
Yeah.
And you start getting angry and really worked up emotionally about it.
Yeah.
Do you think you're taking in more respect from people or casting all respect into the wind?
I think when we lose control of our emotions, we almost always lose respect as well.
We look like losers.
Yeah.
When we do
that. To me, it's the difference. It's taken me years to learn this. Well, a long weekend anyway. The difference between being aggressive and being assertive.
That's
and
a really
I used to be
point.
walked on when I was a kid because I was small and super smart and all this, and people resented me for it. Not surprising. But even though I was somewhat of a prodigy, sorry, I've just switched into narcissism mode here.
That's hilarious.
No, but in all seriousness, when I used to be aggressive after I had gone from being wimpy to being aggressive. And now I've hit in between somewhere. I can be assertive. I can say what I want and not back down. But I'm not going to ramp up the emotions and start yelling at someone.
If you think, if you think about it this way, if your behavior or my behavior, your behavior, anyone's behavior is intended to evoke an emotion in another person to get a performance or an action out of them.
Okay, so a lot of big words
So if
here.
I am aggressive, and I am looking to say scare someone in that case, that they better do what I say or they'll be physically hurt.
Yeah.
Or
intimidation.
In some way. I mean, it could be, you could be aggressive in threatening that your children won't be able to go to that party they wanted to go to. Well, not that they can nowadays anyway, but there's various ways of being aggressive, right?
Yeah.
The physical one is the most obvious to think of. So if I behave in a certain way that causes other people to have an emotion of fear or behave in a certain way. So if we get overly involved in being emotional such that we're evoking an emotion in the other people that they think
they find unpleasant.
That guy's like unhinged.
Yeah, and then we will wind up being recluses because
no one's going to want to hang out with us.
We just got a word in there.
Yeah, there we go.
Fantastic.
Amazing how that works.
That whole thing about the aggression taking different forms. I remember when I was a telephone operator, I was making $2 an hour, but the good thing was there was only one other guy in the office. He came in later after me, and we worked with 150 women, many of whom were in their early 20s and quite beautiful.
So I'm sure you loved that.
It was a wonderful job. But a guy phoned in one night, an older guy, businessman, and I was working the switchboard, and he wanted a number of some company. And he wanted the after hours number, and they didn't have one.
Sir, I need the phone number for the Shiz Jig Corporation.
Yeah. I said, if they don't have an after hours number, sir,
right.
Here's what he said to me. Don't make me mad. You don't want to make me mad. You don't want to make, don't freaking tell me what I want. You don't know what I want.
Well,
unless you ask me, baby, I do want to make you mad.
Well,
but
sir, you're welcome to get as
aggressive.
mad as you want. That's still not going to change the fact that
Let me tell you how much I respected him after that, Chris.
Yeah. 0.
That much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you like the pause, the freezing?
Yes.
Like Jack the Freezer?
Mike's making a 0 sign for those listening only.
That's right. So, okay. So we're saying being aware of emotional involvement, learn to go to second and third positions when required. Now, this is a key thing. Remember in NLP terms, we're actually bringing some content now. In NLP terms, we have 4 perceptual positions that we work with. Chris and I work with. Some work with 3, and I used to work with 3, but I see the value of the 4th one now. The first one is I. It's self. It's ego.
It's about me.
It's about me. It's all about me. And narcissists spend a lot of time, if not all of their time, in first position. Second position is you.
You.
So this is empathy
this is
now. It's about you. This is all about you. So at this point,
that is my favorite.
Yeah, I'm losing the picture. It's like, it's all about you. Anyway, at this point, when we can go into second position, that is empathy. We are feeling the other person's emotions.
Yes.
Not sympathy.
We can
Sympathy
relate
is
to their
relating
emotions.
to it. No, but empathy is feeling them.
Feelings.
So, yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. My feeling emotions.
And when when someone is appealing to empathy, they'll say, can you imagine how I feel? When we go to empathy, we go, yeah, I can imagine that.
Can you imagine how
it's a useful
that person felt in that scenario? We can put ourselves in their shoes and imagine how they felt.
Right. Now, third position is completely dissociated.
Yeah.
And that is them. It's I'm on the outside dissociating, looking at you and I sitting here.
Yes.
Not astral projecting. And by doing this, what's happening is I'm leaving the emotions out of the equation and I'm being impartial. Now, the ability to go into second, to feel the other person's emotions so you can empathize with them, and the ability to dissociate are extremely powerful, and they will earn you respect, because if someone is criticizing you, you can then hear it from their perspective, or you can dissociate it and it just becomes data, nothing but interesting information.
And if you get your back up against the wall, if you're criticizing, if somebody's criticizing you or if someone's criticizing
especially that
me,
wall.
Yeah, especially fake walls. If someone's criticizing you and you appear to get very defensive, what does that do for your ability to command respect?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
You didn't have to make the
I know, I didn't have, COVID.
Exusion sound. It's horrible.
It's not really an exusion sound.
It is.
Although I suppose
going red. It's exuding in the exudery. If you're going to do it, at least make it funny. Like, don't do the horrible sound you did. Disgusting.
I think that's the first time
this is a bad. No, I've done the podcast and I've done the, which is way funnier. Okay, so I used to do that. I'd go to a washroom at someone's house every time I'd shut the door.
This podcast is not good for my forehead lines.
I just looked at the monitor for a long time then.
I know.
I admit it though, so it's okay. So let's move on here, buddy. Major, we said radiate congruence in your body and your voice.
Yeah. I want to just make sure that we're really clear that emotional involvement will be reduced if you move to those second and third positions. That'll help, right?
Yes.
So now, while you're doing that, radiate confidence. So if somebody's asking you or suggesting, let's say, some sort of criticism, and you just take second position, I can appreciate how that person would feel this way, and how third position, how others would see me differently if I do this and this differently.
Yeah.
And
it becomes powerful.
And now by expressing that congruently, maybe through questions, or can you tell me more about that? And or just a statement of appreciation. I appreciate the perspective of that criticism. I hadn't thought about that.
All right, that's good. That's good, man. Yeah.
So by being congruent, what else did you want to say about being congruent?
No, like making sure that you're aligning your state. So you're not somewhere else as they're talking. You're present with them. Your state, your body language, your internal dialogue are all saying one thing. You are present with that person, and that commands respect. I mean, notice how right now with me talking to you like this just scares the crap out of you because I'm just being so assertive.
You're being so present.
My hand is just cataleptic.
Do we have body language stuff on here at all?
Yes, we do.
Because
I put it there.
There is an absolute sense of using your hands.
Well, let's wait till we get there.
Right. All right. We'll get there. We'll get there. Thank you.
Okay.
No, thank you. No,
now,
you can thank me.
You thank me, just as I am thanking me. Now, major in solutions, not complaints.
Major
man. I drink some coffee while
I'm going to repeat that because I interrupted you while you were saying it. Major in solutions, not in complaints.
Scary thing I interrupted you.
That's good. Not in complaints. Actually, okay, so while you're drinking your perfectly ordinary coffee, let's talk about that. So does everyone know someone that is just a constant complainer?
Yes,
chronic complainer.
Thank you. You're admitting it finally. You about me. Oh, you're not in Slack today. Oh, you didn't check. I left you this message from a month ago. Yeah, it didn't interest me. I didn't freaking read it. I'm almost 68 years old. I'm past the point where I have to stand in the freaking corner, Chris. You know? Oh, that's what the whiteboard's for over here. I will never do that again. I am bad. I must be punished. You're a naughty boy.
Stop.
Yes, people like you complain constantly about me. Yes, you. We've admitted it. Okay, next.
Well, hi, welcome to the Chris Thompson therapy session.
It's not going to help you, buddy. Scary thing I meant it was about you.
Where were we? I've just lost my train of thought.
Completely present, Chris. You were saying
majoring in solutions, not complaints.
Yes. Stop complaining.
Do we all know somebody that is a chronic complainer? And if so, look at your elbow. It's off frame again.
Well, my finger's pointing at you, though.
That's true.
I had to check the monitor and make sure it was working.
Who do you know, without naming names or anything, that maybe from your past, who was in your life, that isn't anymore, that's a safer question, that was a chronic complainer, always complaining?
Well, I can think of one in my life right now. It's not you. It's not you.
Okay. You're not going to say who it is, obviously. That's fine. All right. But we all know that someone. And what happens when someone is chronically pointing out what's wrong rather than offering solutions?
Well, you don't hang out with them.
Right. I mean, if Elon Musk, if all he did was point out the pollution from gas engines and
you're furrowing your brow,
whatever else is wrong with the world and how there are no reusable rockets and why can't we get to Mars, but didn't actually frickin' do anything about it.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have a whole lot of respect.
No.
But here he is building rockets that land themselves, making the most amazing electric cars on the planet, and solving actual real-world engineering
I heard those
problems.
rockets didn't even land. It was just CGI.
It's CGI. It's Photoshop, guys.
Yeah, my question is, Chris, how much do you admire him for doing that?
Oh, tremendously.
So you have respect for Elon Musk.
I have respect for
his intelligence, his creativity.
His intelligence, but you know what? I don't want to be like him. I don't want to spend
80
to 100 100 hours a week.
I remember when you went through your Bill Gates face before you had your LASIK done, and you used to wear glasses, and you respected Gates so much. You tried to look like him. You had the big freaking plastic glasses.
That's horrible.
Just horrible.
Never, ever refer to me as respecting Bill Gates in that way.
In that way. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, listen. You respect Elon Musk, not the scent of Musk. Right.
My point is he's a problem solver, right?
And this is why you just ordered your 4th Tesla.
Oh, you bastard.
No,
so not true.
Tesla, it's absolutely not true. Doesn't mean he's going to have 4 at once.
No,
he'll be getting rid of 2 of them. You put a deposit down on it.
That was the pickup truck.
Oh, that was the third one.
I put down $150 as a deposit. Canadian.
Yeah.
$150 Canadians, 100 in the States. $150 in the event that this thing comes out and can actually fit in my garage, which I doubt. I may be a Cybertruck owner.
Now, what I find interesting is how you just put your coffee cup on top of your MacBook.
Yes,
which
it's a coaster.
It lost a lot. Your respect is gone. Respect is gone. Okay, here. Well, it's perfect timing because the next one is never use your MacBook as a coaster in front of your friends. You look like a dick.
Here's what I want to ask you. Serious question.
Okay, go ahead.
So I propose Elon Musk as someone who majors in solutions, not problems. You start with the problem, right? But you major in identifying the problem so you can solve it and then actually solving it.
Okay.
Who do you know that majors in solutions?
Am I supposed to say you?
You're supposed to say me. No, I'm kidding. It's not about me.
I knew where that was going.
Who majors in solutions in your life that you know? Not me.
Henry Kissinger.
Henry Kissinger. Oh, there
Jack
you go.
Ruby.
Yeah. Anybody?
In my life?
Anybody?
Well, you do. You actually do.
Yeah, I know. But
so do I, actually. I aim on
I think
solutions.
you do, too. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Who do you look up to that majors in solutions? Otherwise, why'd you put this in the notes?
Ryan.
Ryan.
Yeah.
That's a great answer, actually. I
but
totally agree.
Ryan majors in solutions to the point that they become new problems.
They can be, yeah. We're talking about a friend of ours here, in case you're wondering. His name is Ryan. Awesome guy.
We won't say his last name.
And he often proposes what would be a good solution. Now, he can overanalyze it and get to the point where he's complaining about it again.
Whereupon he starts losing respect.
Right, exactly. Because if you're focused on the solution, you will command more respect.
Let's move on to the next point. Because we got a commercial coming up soon.
Something like half an hour into this podcast.
That's fine. Now, I said, ask clarifying questions instead of assuming. You want to get people's respect? Listen to them and ask clarifying questions.
Remember, you're not a mind
Respect will
reader.
go up so fast. I like to carry a 6 of hearts. It's the perfect card for this in my pocket. And when someone says, you think this, you think, as soon as they tell you what you think, you just pull the card out. You say, wrong, Darren Brown, 6 of hearts. That's what I'm thinking. Fantastic. Now,
that's a good pattern interrupt.
Thanks, buddy. But the point is asking clarifying questions instead of getting caught up in stories, caught up in ideas, instead of presuming you know what the person means is powerful.
I want to add to that, that the kind of clarifying question you ask is important. If it is established with this really long pre-frame, I know that there are certain types of people, Mike, who have a variety of views on topics. And when we come across the kind of person who isn't super clear about what they want to know, we can have a tendency. Yeah, exactly. I'm doing it right. We ask simple questions congruently that are going to elicit a valuable response.
Yes, which is why every politician, as soon as he opens his mouth, he loses my respect. I'm a political atheist. I don't believe in politicians.
In politics, people will tend to ask really long-winded questions.
Ken Sweatman
very
questions.
Vague, non-specific. And then the answers, of course, you've given the answerer tons of threads they can pull on or dance around the real issue.
There's no clarity. There's no simplicity. We had a guy from Ontario Hydro come to our Cub Pack, the 144th Cub Pack when I was 9 years old. He did a demo with a little model and a man, and he put these power lines down and touch it, and the guy would get shocked. And just all this stuff. And Stephen Blahu asked a question. And the question lasted about 8 minutes long. And all I remember was there's a boy in the story with white and black socks.
Oh, that's the worst.
And I'm thinking like, this isn't helping.
Yeah,
in fact,
I got
look
a
how
question.
bad this is.
Think about it.
I'm still thinking about it.
I know,
almost 60 years later. That idiot, Stephen Blahu.
We all know situations like that, right? Where it's, I got a question. Yeah, so this one time in band camp where, Johnny was, I don't know. I can't remember. I think he was maybe changing the valves on his trumpet or,
shut up before one of us dies.
And it goes on, and it's irrelevant. This does not command respect.
Buddy, what will command respect is we have an important message, a special report.
All right.
And now a special report. Apparently, there has been another Gus Grissom sighting.
That's right, Mike. This just in from a man called Terry Isted in Toronto. Hey, Mike and Chris, you won't believe what happened on March 12th, my birthday. I was catching up on a number of excellent brain software podcasts, and the mental exercise was so overwhelming. I found myself getting really hungry at about 9 p.m. I love Indian food, and for a birthday meal, I headed to Lagi's North Indian Restaurant at Pharmacy Avenue and St. Clair Avenue East. It's a great place, and I love the chicken vindaloo and the palak paneer with it. When I arrived, I found a parking spot and noticed that there were a few people in COVID masks outside in a line for food they'd ordered by phone. Inside was a man at the counter, picking up his food and settling his bill, which took a long time. He was apparently having a long, pointless, but highly enjoyable, for him, conversation with the staff, and completely forgot that there were people waiting in the cold for their food orders. I was fourth in line, and the man at the front was getting antsy. He was wearing a leather bomber jacket and an official-looking NASA-issue COVID-19 mask. He banged on the glass and yelled, "Hurry it up, Sweatman!" After a few more minutes of mindless and excessively detailed monologue, the man in the store left with a bag of food, and the fellow at the front of the line pushed into the store. I remember thinking that he was quick and efficient, just like an astronaut would be if he was purchasing Indian food. Then, the man spun around smartly and headed out of the store. And the moment he cleared the doorway with his food, he pulled off his mask, shoved it into his pocket of his bomber jacket. He glanced at me as he passed. He made a brief but significant eye contact. It was Gus Grissom. I'd know that brush cut anywhere. Terry Isted went on to say that Grissom had clearly been working out as he looked very fit, but a little tired around the eyes.
Astounding, Chris. Just astonishing. The Virgil Gus Grissom saga just goes on and on and on. And it's amazing what energy this man has, especially since he's 95 years old. One of the things you can do is take up a lot of space. Take up more space.
I know what you mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
And taking up space shows that you're a powerful person. If you're standing in a bar and your arms are folded and you got one foot up like this and you're sort of looking around hunched, you're sending a message of weakness and you're not going to have any respect.
And now keep in mind, of course, to command respect, taking up space, you still have to do the other stuff. If you come across as a jerk because you're, gunslinger boy on Jeopardy, or if you are constantly talking about yourself all the time and you're not asking good questions and you're asking annoying, long-winded questions while you take up a lot of space, that's actually going to amplify the hurt, won't it?
Yes.
So and I think there's an important message here that the seeds of how you're communicating with words and with intention and congruence need to be there to command respect.
Yes.
To then amplify it with your body language.
Yes. And you're adjusting your physical presence. You're taking up more space. You're sending the right signals. And this can be done even if you're walking. I remember when we were in Las Vegas, you were morning coffee in the Orleans Hotel. In the casino.
Can I tell this story?
Yeah. The guy who came walking through.
Okay, I'll tell this. So Lisa and I were standing in line at the buffet. We were waiting for breakfast. We were supposed to be meeting you. We got there a few minutes earlier. You got there a little later. I was talking with her, and it's a long corridor.
It is.
And I don't think I had my LASIK at that time either. I'm not sure. Anyway, I could not recognize your face or anything like that. I couldn't even see what clothes you were wearing. But as soon as you turned around the corner in the distance, I saw this man walking.
Yes.
I'm trying to pretend I'm holding a coffee cup. You're one of those fast food coffee cups. Irrelevant detail, but the bounding, the movement, the speed.
Yeah, like a cat.
You were moving like
Jack the Mover.
Jack the Mover.
Yeah, right. Moving in the movery.
And and you had your elbows out a little bit. You were clearly taking up space so that you would send an unconscious cue for people to go around you.
Yeah.
And I looked at Lisa and I said, that's Mike right there. He's coming right now. I could just tell it was you from the way you were walking.
Just radiating authority and power.
In Las Vegas, how does the typical 60, at the time, maybe say 65-year-old man walk around?
Well, they walk around in a freaking scooter, Chris.
Yeah, usually
in a scooter.
Yeah, and we're not judging, but keep yourself strong, fit, and happy, and live an awesome life.
Don't go easily into that freaking night.
Mike Mandel Wellness Academy. I want to point that out.
Commercial.
Mike Mandel. Hypnosis.com/PGM, personal growth membership. Check it out.
Now, my
Best
concern
$27 a month
Chris,
you'll ever spend.
Thanks, buddy. My concern at this point is that I'm losing respect because people think this is a Russian hat. Let me just say, this is, you're full on Davy Crockett.
It is.
So I'm going to wear it like this just so no one forgets. And you can pretend that there is a raccoon on my head.
Okay, that would be amusing.
Actually, if there was, this would be a very smelly position.
So what else? Let's do some rapid fire here as we end this podcast in a few minutes. So we talked about taking up space. Let's talk about a couple of body language things. And again, we'll describe these, but for the best experience, you
must do them.
Or go to the show notes on our website where, of course, we will embed the video. So let's talk about steepling and blading the hand.
You want to be seen as knowledgeable and authoritative when someone's talking to you. Steeple. Put your fingertips together. It can be low down like this. It can be this way up like Jimmy Page did it on the Led Zeppelin album or something. But yeah, by doing this, and you can even tap them together if you want. This sends a message of authority and knowledge.
What I'm talking about. Right.
If you look on Jeremy Brett playing Sherlock Holmes, whenever he's solving a case, he goes into steepling because it's sending that I have intellect, I'm smart, I'm on the ball, and I'm still looking at the freaking monitor. I just caught
you are.
To make sure I'm steepling in sight.
Let's show the difference between this hands together sort of.
That's the namaste.
That's almost like
namaste.
I'm
that's
a
different.
Peaceful person.
Yes, that's namaste, which is Hindi for I salute the light within you.
Yeah.
This is like, I'm just so freaking smart, I don't have to salute anybody.
Let's remember when audio listeners are listening, they don't know what this is. So let's be descriptive.
Oh, gosh.
The steepling, which you'll see. Yes. So there we go. We've said enough on that.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
The next one is thumbs.
Let's talk about thumbs.
Joe Navarro, when I presented with him in Hollywood a number of years ago doing a keynote for Neil Strauss, training for him.
What is the thumb?
Joe Navarro, FBI, he said, keep your thumb out of your pocket. In other words, your hand can be in, but your thumb should be out.
So,
yeah.
Thumbs out of pockets.
You want your thumb out of your pocket, and that's important. The thumb is a surrogate penis.
Which is so weird.
Which is true.
Can you say that on YouTube?
Grossly wrong size, of course. But the thumb should be kept, unlike the penis, should be exposed. If you put your thumb in your pocket and your hand's out, that's sending, I'm still looking at myself, that's sending a message of extreme weakness. Keep your thumb out of your pocket all the time.
That's actually really, really strong point. So that if you're
man, no, I want to do
the
it.
microphone's in the way.
Yeah.
If your hands are in your pocket, it's like the opposite of taking up space, right?
Yeah, if you're in a bar,
there you go.
Lean against the bar with your thumbs up. I've only got this tucked in because it's cold out to keep my back warm. I don't typically wear it all nerdy like this, just so you know.
All right.
I wouldn't want you to think it's a creeping age thing.
Yeah.
Buddy, we're out of time. We may save some for another one.
Let's do the last one is blading of the hands.
Oh, okay. You like that one so much. I'll let you do it.
I have named it blading the hands because this is something that I notice often when we're having coffee and chit-chatting before we would get to work in the kitchen. You would do this. You would tell a story, and right when you were getting to an important
you'd start drifting. Yeah.
Or if you were detecting that there was a need to recenter the attention.
Because you were drifting.
Right. Exactly. If there was a drifting happening.
Yeah.
Or if it was just something that was important in the story, you would be standing. I'm going to have to make this work on camera, obviously, but pretend we're further apart.
Yeah.
Okay. And you would just lean in and put your hand out like this. The hand for the camera. It was not like a point. This is considered rude.
It's more like a chop.
It's more like just a gesture with the hand. Not like I'm handing you something or expecting you to hand me money.
It's a blade. You're blading in the bladery as you're leaning in. Yeah.
So that's my original term. I just made that up.
Well, what's the usefulness of it?
It sends a signal that you're making an important point, and it recenters the attention onto the conversation. Okay. And you also would step in just subtly and lean in while you did it. But then you would immediately step back.
Yeah, that's right.
Like so you didn't get in there.
No, steady.
Yeah, there you go.
Right in my face
we need to reintroduce the spasmatic coughing.
Oh, buddy.
On this.
No, you can't during COVID.
No, that would be
But bro, I think we're done for this. I think we're done for this podcast. But we need the empowering question from you.
Yeah, we will make sure anything we
don't apologize.
We're not going to do a part 2 on this. I don't think we'll move on to another topic. But if we missed anything in the notes that we think is important, why don't we just throw them in the show notes?
Yeah,
and then
have fun with that.
Yeah, there we go. So let's move on to the empowering question for episode 172, and here it is: ask yourself why anyone should respect you, and make sure you generate lots of answers based on not only what you do and have done, but what you will do and who you are.
Nice. That's concise. I have a MetaFIVE, Chris. It's one you've never heard, and it's true.
Excellent.
Serious? I'm doing the hand. Yeah, I call it the Pixie in 1966.
Oh, do tell.
Now, 1966, September, I went to the Canadian National Exhibition in Toronto, one of the world's largest annual exhibitions, which unfortunately was closed for COVID last year. I went with my cousin Gary, who was about 2 years younger than me. My mother took us, and we went by public transit. Mm-hmm. And here's what had happened just before we went. My Uncle Jim from England had found in the London Underground this little pixie. It was made of brass. And it was sitting holding its knees like this, turned towards you with a pointed hat on. Mm-hmm. And it had this frickin' evil grin I can still see to this day. And he gave it to me. I thought it was great. And then someone said, oh, I don't like the look of that. It looks like it's evil. No, it's not evil. It's great. So let's go up to our cottage. We went camping. So the day I got it, we get in the car. We're going in the car. Someone says, I don't like having that. Maybe you shouldn't have that pixie with you because it's evil. We're laughing. Someone opens a can of pop in the car. It just goes everywhere. We're all so, it must have been shaken or something. A minute later, the suitcase falls off the roof of our car, off the roof rack on Highway 401. So I have to pull over, get the suitcase. It didn't open. Next day, my mom takes Gary and I to the Canadian National Exhibition. I take the pixie with me again. Gary and I were joking about, the pixie's the power of the pixie. We're watching, this is 1966, the U.S. Navy, amazing Blue Angel team. fighter jets, 4 planes doing low-level maneuvers. One of them comes low over Lake Ontario, red and blue smoke coming out of the engines, all part of the thing. Wingtip touches the lake.
Ooh.
Plane explodes in a ball of fire. Pilots instantly killed. We see this. We feel terrible. My mom says, we should go home. Yeah, just put it down on the day. And rightly so. We get in the bus on the way home, and I'm thinking, I don't like this Pixie. Bad things happen when I have this. I'm a little kid, right? I was 13 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm thinking this, on the bus, the man across the aisle from me has a freaking heart attack and rolls out of his seat into the aisle.
No.
And someone's giving him CPR in the bus. And my Aunt Janet said, throw it as far away from you as you possibly can. I think what happened was we dug a hole for it, and Bruce Gibbon and I buried it behind someone's house. I haven't seen the Pixie since.
Wow. Thanks, everybody. This has been episode 172 of the Brain Software Podcast with Mike Mandel, and I'm Chris Thompson. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're watching it on YouTube, and if you're not, go to YouTube and subscribe anyway. Make sure you check out our website, MikeMandelHypnosis.com. We've got some awesome free stuff for you. In fact, I want to make sure that the URL I'll share with you is Journey to the Castle, free hypnosis recording, MikeMandelHypnosis.com/castle. So if you can't spell castle, then you can't have the recording.
And if you can't spell Mandel, you can't have it. It's one L.
That's right. All right. So we'll see you again in the next episode. Thanks again, and good night.
Hey, Chris, I bet you anything I can make you laugh.
All right.
You don't know what I'm about to do you?
No. No.
I want you to do your best not to even smile.
Okay.
Smiling.
Hold on.
Smiling is a fail. Laughing is a tremendous fail.
Okay. So the challenge is for me to be poker faced.
Yeah, but you have to listen. You have to interact with me. Are you ready? Okay.
Hold on.
Here we go. Rein it in. Okay, here we go. This is going to be tough. Okay.
Can you at least let me
You can smile, but you can't laugh.
Okay, smile is not a fail, because that's going to be
even
too hard.
silent laughing is a failure.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Little me sitting in the little me LaPG. First he washes slowly, then he washes fast, then he washes very fast, romping in the rompery. Little me engaging his dispersion. Little me washing, little white balloon in the with me, little me. Now he's got an Alice.
And action.
It's going in.
No, we cannot do it.
It doesn't mean anything.
We can't do it.
Why not?
We just can't.
Ross, we need this, buddy. Don't listen to him.
No, I'm the one that sends you the money every week, Ross, so you gotta listen to me.
Washing his LaPG.
This is completely eliminated. 100% clear.
Washing.
I can't believe you thought that we put that in the podcast.
Oh.
Are you having a stroke?
Unbelievable.